Hey guys, how you doing today? Just wanted to do a quick episode today. Today's episode is going to be the Barry fight in Canalave City, followed by the gym leader, Byron. So I just wanted to sort of trim down my time spent recording. To be fair, I did record a lot of content for these two episodes, but a chunk of episode 6, or originally what was going to be episode 6, was not the best in terms of what I wanted it to be. So it ended up being a little bit of dead air. So I wanted to edit some of just the major fights together to maybe talk about what stood out about those fights to me, and go from there. In all honesty, I also wanted to talk a little bit more about strategizing for the Nuzlocke that's going to come in Brilliant Diamond. Having heard some of the struggles that people are facing, I do want to work around that before getting right into it. So, today, let's jump into it. Barry's fight is overall pretty okay. Not too worrisome for me. I think it was a little bit less challenging than I expected, and I wanted to make sure that I was ready to take on the set style of battle that I've switched to at this point. Fantina, at the end of the last episode, was the last shift style battle that I had, per the recommendation of my friends, and wanting to sort of increase the challenge on myself, I switched over to set to prepare myself for the Nuzlocke. Barry's fight, like I mentioned, Luxray takes a bit of a beating there. I was probably being a little bit too risky with Luxray in this fight, and hey, you know, that's okay, because it's not actually a Nuzlocke in this one. But if this was an actual Nuzlocke, I probably would have been playing it a lot safer, because, you know, crit would have just ended the dream there with Luxray, and I do not want to see that. So we'll continue with the Barry fight play out. I don't really want to jump into the Byron fight just yet. But for my own Nuzlocke, I want to make sure that I have a couple of different axes that I'm focusing on. And the two that I'm going to talk about are investment of the Pokemon on my team. So I will try to utilize nicknaming and following the journey of the team that we've got going for us. And the other half of it is going to be more on the strategic side. So maybe talking about type matchups and how I will play out those type matchups. And talking about strategy of when to switch, when not to, when to heal. Those are sort of the two pillars that I want to build my Nuzlocke run on. Now, I do foresee one of the big problems in Nuzlocke being diversity of the Pokemon that you can encounter. Having seen Nuzlockes as well as hearing about the Nuzlockes that people are running into, there are some serious challenges that are occurring in terms of the diversity of Pokemon that are available for the type coverage that you can get on your team. So I am going to be willing to replace encounters with the Grand Underground once I've unlocked it. So to be fair, that doesn't mean the first gym will be a traditional Nuzlocke all the way up until that point, but beyond the traditional Nuzlocke, I will transition over to the Grand Underground to help diversify my options for my team. However, I will create some limitations within that. I can only drop in at the beginning of the route or location, or rather maybe not the beginning, but let's say that we target just wherever it is on the route we drop. We can only go to an unseen location in the Grand Underground. This is still preliminary, so hey, if I get unlucky and I go up against a bunch of the same type, I will give myself an out there. I do want to make sure I have a diverse team. But the first encounter, when I say first encounter, I mean it's the first Pokemon that does either run into me or I run into, is the encounter for that location. I will not allow dupes, so if I already have an active Pokemon, or had an active Pokemon, which means that it did pass away, I will not be allowing myself to catch those duplicates. It must be new Pokemon. So if I got lucky enough to encounter, let's say I encountered a Starly early on, and I encounter it again later, even if it's Staravia or Staraptor, I will not take that Pokemon. Now, at this point, we are into the Byron fight. This fight was actually a lot more surprising than I thought it was going to be. The Bronzor here really set up on me, and I sort of let it, unfortunately. The Fire Punch didn't one-shot, and I don't know if Lava Plume would have. I probably should have, in hindsight, done Lava Plume, but unfortunately we did not. So Magmar takes out Bronzor after being full restored, followed by Fire Punch and Low Kick. It just took too much time for me to take this Bronzor out, but at least 2 turns in the Trick Room has passed. Now, the issue is Steelix is the second Pokemon, and it is faster than me. And at this point, I didn't realize that it was faster than me because of Trick Room, so I kept the Magmar in. That was a mistake, because if this was a Nuzlocke, Magmar would have been just knocked out right there. And that's not what I want to hear. But unfortunately, hey, Magmar faints. I send out Empoleon. Empoleon nearly faints. I do take out the Steelix. But lastly, there is the Shieldon. Bastiodon. And this one just sort of wrecks my house. I can't do much against it. I should have... not that I can't do much against it, but rather what happens is that the Empoleon gets blown out because I haven't healed it at this point. So I made a risky move. I shouldn't have done that risky move, but considering this was a Nuzlocke, I just took my shot so I could set up for the next Pokemon to come in and clean it up, and Absol does exactly that. So, luckily, again, like I said, it took about 2 turns early on to that Trick Room, so while there was only 3 turns left, it was significant. Both of his back-end Pokemon have Sturdy, and that is a brutal, brutal effect to go up against, which means that they get a free move on us, and that can be devastating. So, utilizing status moves or weather moves to cause impact to the opponent is a beneficial thing for us. So, something to consider for our Nuzlocke run. Hey guys, I appreciate you joining me on this journey. I will see you guys around for the next episode.